Okay, so in today's session, we will discuss about the database mirroring. What is database mirroring? Database mirroring is the one of the high availability concept in SQL Server. So in the previously we discussed log shipping. So what was the problem in the log shipping? So there was a some delay between the backup job to copy job. 15 minutes there will be data loss. But when coming to the database mirroring, so this is completely working based on the endpoint communications. So here there is no any kind of log backups like that. So there is no very much data loss. Sorry, there is no any data loss here. So we can recover better than log shipping. Okay. So this database mirroring, how it is working. So what are the process here? So we need to explore here. So what is the database mirror? So database mirroring is the one of the high availability concept in SQL Server. So here there are the principal server and mirror server, and there will be one more server called witness server. So if you want to make automatic failover, we can make the witness server. If you don't want automatic failover, so witness server is also an optional server. So one principal server and mirror server. So we can keep both one primary server and one secondary server. The primary server in log shipping we can call it as a primary server. In mirroring we can call it as a principal server. In log shipping secondary server we can call it as a secondary server or standby server, but in mirroring we can call it as a mirror server. Okay, secondary server we can call it as a mirror server. So please remember this naming terminology. Okay, let's come to the mirroring is so completely working based on the endpoint communication. So what is the endpoint? So how it works? Okay, so that is the one communication channel between the principal server to the mirror server. So we'll go in detail more. So here, so let's come to these points. Database mirroring is a basic high availability concept in SQL Server. So it is implemented and used SQL Server whenever the primary server goes, principal server goes down. So we can make it the secondary server like mirror server within fraction of minutes we can make it live. So using this mirroring technology. Okay, so the mirror server we can make it either hot standby or warm standby. So I already explained earlier what is hot standby, what is warm standby. So the log shipping is a hot standby. Hot standby means we need to do it manually, then we can do it failover from primary to the secondary. If it is warm standby, we can use the automatic failover. But the mirroring advantage is we can make it either hot standby or warm standby. If you use the witness server, it will come automatic failover. It comes under warm standby. If you don't use the witness server, it comes under hot standby. We need to do it manual failover. The two things is possible here. That is the point here we have written. Okay. The instance are the other instance we can make it either hot or warm standby. The mirror server depending on the configuration of the mirroring session. Okay. Let's come to the benefits when we use the mirroring. What are the benefits we come here? So data production, it is more than compared to the log shipping. Increase the availability of the database. So we don't want to wait for any log backup 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So there is no any concept like that in log shipping. So it is log records are transferred from primary principal to the mirror directly, and we don't have any data loss. So with very very minor possible data loss is there when we configure in a not synchronized option. So here two options are there. One is synchronizing option, one is not synchronized option. So what we need to use based on our requirement? Do you want high data protection or high availability? High data protection means your data is always protected. It may delay, okay, no problem, I accepted, but I don't lose any data. That is called increased data protection or high data protection. Increased availability means the data, it might be a minor loss also, okay, no problem, but the availability should be more. If that is the case, we can go and choose the not synchronized option. Okay, so if you want data protection, choose the synchronized option. So two options are there, so we can configure any one of the option. Basically our data protection is more important, so we can choose the data protection. Let's come to the next point. Okay, the principal server is communicating to the partner server, we can call it as a partner. So how the business partners between the two people, like that, how both are communicating each other, same way the principal and mirror servers are communicating as a partners, we can call it as a partners here. Okay, so two partners are completely performing in the always mirroring configuration. The principal role we can call it as a primary server, mirror role will configure as a secondary server. The two partners are communicating to each other, transferring the data from primary server to the secondary server. So we can call it as a principal. Primary partner we can call it as a principal. Secondary server partner we can call it as a mirror. Please remember these terminologies. Okay. So each partner means each server is described as a own the current role. So they have a specific role, how it works, how we can define. So principal server, how partner server, mirror server, how we can. So we can create a described owning their roles. Okay. Next one, these are all some important points. Just to please go through it. Some benefits on this. So basically, what happens when we configure any principal server, your database is created and your database is participating in the mirroring means what we need to do. So your database should be in a prerequisites. What are the prerequisites to configure or participating your database in mirroring? Your database should be in a full recovery model. Your database should be in a full recovery model. So, and you need to make it take the full backup and log backup for initialization of the primary to the secondary mirror server, and we can configure the endpoints. So the endpoint communication is very important in mirroring. So we can configure the principal to the secondary. So we can see some diagram pictorially, you will get to know some more important points. So I will explain tomorrow again the mirroring, it won't complete in one session. Okay, these are all the different states while configuring into the mirroring: synchronizing, synchronized, suspended, pending failover, disconnected, connected. I will explain what are the things. You already know connected means both are communicating each other, they are connected. Disconnected means any problem between the principal to the mirror, the connection will be disconnected. Suspended means something is wrong while transferring, there will be anything or MDF or NDF is corrupted in any one of the place, there will be a chance to go to the suspended. Synchronizing means principal server and secondary server, both data is 100% synchronized. Here 10 records are there, here 10 records are there. So both are balanced. Then we can call it as a synchronized. Next is synchronizing means it is data is transferring. In principal 10 records are there. In secondary 9 records are there. So one more record is going on the way. So like that we can call it as a synchronizing. Okay. So these are all the different options. I already shared this document. Please go through it. So tomorrow I will explain again in detail with show. I will show the practically. Okay. So this is the endpoint communication channel between the principal to the mirror server. So here important thing is endpoint. What is endpoint? Endpoint is the communication channel between the principal to the secondary mirror server. Here we are using 5G